You will find it relatable, and everyone else who's been working in AI will find it relatable. In AI, I really believe that you should build an AI what you've done a lot of offline because you know exactly how it should perform in AI. And I would question the capability of the technology. He just kept giving me the confidence that no, it's going to get easier, better, easier, better. I mean, magical, right?
This is unbelievable. You are now able to create these visuals in a matter of minutes from your laptop and creating all those campaigns that you always wanted to do and you were never able to achieve because of limitations of budget, cost, resources, time. And now you can. That is the point.
As the generic creativity AI will be able to do, but really unusual ideas will be even more exclusive.
In this era of AI, taste is what's going to be, differentiator.
I think adoption is inevitable, right? A lot of people are like, will the world actually adopt AI? I think that's not a question anymore.
Am I understanding correctly?
Yes.
I just want to make sure I understand because if this is real, I am shutting this off.
You was my dog, we came from the kennel. My word is bond, it's fundamental. The world is revolving and I'm at the center.
Hello and welcome to any viewers out there, AI enthusiasts, creatives. I want to make these conversations as a source of insights for two audiences primarily. The first one is brands and companies that are interested into this AI creative space and would like to hear from people that are actively creating and using these tools. And the second audience is for young entrepreneurs that are also interested into understanding what this space is all about and are curious to learn and maybe become a source of inspiration for these people that could then pave their own, carve their own path. And so I would love to talk to interesting people. And we have here today Kirti, who to me is a great influence in this space. So welcome, Kirti.
Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. I regularly watch this space because as an AI entrepreneur, it's a great place for me to understand the pulse of what users want and the use cases they'd like to be solved. And so it's not just for them, but for us too.
Definitely, 100%. We learn as we practice, and it is a fun space to be in. Kirti, obviously, you are the founder of Caimera, one of, for me, the most revolutionary tool in the fashion space. Straight off the bat, what is Caimera, if you will?
So Chimera has evolved into almost an AI agent for product photography. Um, while it can generate a image of a product to the highest levels of product accuracy and image quality, it's also able to solve the ideation problem, which is what do I generate and how do I structure those prompts. So it's able to take in a product, understand the context in which one would use it, because that's the context you will be able to sell it in. It's able to crawl brand websites and all of the text and images on your website to be able to produce ideas and imagery in line with that, down to the kind of color calibration you like in your images.
That is very particular because it's true that there are tools that are very good at the integration and tools that are very good at the creative direction. It seems like you're blending both of them together, and that is fairly unique.
Yeah, I
Um,
feel like, AI is evolving into it can do a task to now it can do a series of events structured together. And when companies use AI tools to solve a use case that they have to solve for at the scale of 4,000 images a day, they need an end-to-end tool. They shouldn't have to go through 12 tools to be able to solve that use case. So if you've seen Chimera, it has everything that a fashion brand would dream of, which is video, PDP video, catalog imagery, lifestyle imagery. Now we just launched consistent models with consistent garments, and that's a dream come true for them.
Yes, my eyes are opening when you say these things because it is a dream come true, not just for brands, but for agencies, maybe like Agora that do
Yeah.
these things for brands. And I can't wait to delve into this later. I want to ask you, where did this idea come from? Was there any inspiration, any personal passion of yours, any backgrounds in fashion, or has this completely took a turn of itself?
The long story short is that I'm actually an engineer, and I studied AI many, many years ago in college when AI was not a thing, and the only thing we could make was TikTok, the game. And that's the only thing AI could do at that time. Many years on, I actually moved careers from AI into fashion and built a fashion company that scaled into a really large marketplace that today over 30,000 rural artisans sell on. So I did over 200 photo shoots myself. And in AI, I really believe that you should build an AI, what you've done a lot of offline, right? Because you know exactly how it should perform in AI.
That's very
Um,
interesting.
while I was running that business, I was always motivated to go back into technology, and I love the scale and the creativity and innovation technology brings into every industry. So we launched this current business, which basically was producing tech products for the fashion industry. And our first product ended up being resale software where we were embedding our resell button into different websites that would allow us to do that. And actually, everyone was hosting us on their own website with a little button. Um, sorry, should I repeat that? I think, did you
Oh,
hear
no.
that noise?
It
Okay.
makes it authentic.
Um, so why we were early in AI and early in this space is because we were solving the problem of poor quality images in the resale market. And when you're selling a second-hand garment, you take a picture of yourself or you take a hanger and you hang the garment, and it just looks so bad that nobody wants to buy it. And people are willing to pay 10 times the price if it's on a great model. So we were actually looking at solving that particular use case. And so we built out Chimera and were pitching it to brands. Very quickly, we bagged our first customer that ended up being the largest fashion brand in the world.
Say
Without
which one?
naming,
Okay.
without naming the company, I'm gonna say that you own many clothes, multiple items from this brand for sure, right? Um, so that was a huge thing because a brand like this was willing to choose us as their right partner. And this was about a year and a half ago. At the time, we were pushed into delivering high quality. Whereas many small AI vendors or many small users of Amazon imagery, like imagery on Amazon, would accept very average AI imagery, but large brands wouldn't. And so we were pushed into the direction of good quality by this customer. And I really have to thank them for what it produces today. It's really because the marketing heads, the brand heads sat down with us and to explain to us how the hair should be and how the smiles should be.
That's really interesting, and it does go back to listening to the customer
Yeah.
so much more than we listen to ourselves. We always build because we think that's the right thing to do instead of talking to our potential customers and understanding what they actually need and building upon that. And that's what you did. And going back to what you said about the the pictures that look bad, that is such an underrated problem. And it reminded me of the story by Brian Chesky, the Airbnb owner, who said that at the beginning, people would take pictures of their house in Airbnb to rent Airbnb, and they would take horrible pictures, and nobody would want to get into these houses. And so then Airbnb themselves said, let us come to your house, we'll take the pictures ourselves and we'll use those pictures, because it is such an underrated problem. You don't realize it, but the way you display your product, your house, your clothing will make that difference. And a lot of brands don't realize that. They say, I have a great product, yes, but the way it's displayed is a game changer. And you guys have done that, it seems like. Yeah.
fashion, everyone's selling a red dress, right?
Right.
Why is yours different? It's because of the
Absolutely.
image.
Absolutely. And a lot of brands still don't get that, which is a shame. But the customers do. The customers do, and they are not going to be fooled. They're not going to be fooled. And they also relate to what looks good. And so if a brand has a good creative direction, a good aesthetics, the customer will follow, will enter that, will relate to that, and will say, this guy likes what I like. And that connection is then made. And that is very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I guess I wanted to ask you when you realized this was working and kind of that feeling of that first subscriber, that first paying subscriber that isn't family and friend. How did that feel for you? How did that kind of validation go through your head? That must have been a special moment.
Is refusing to even believe that it will convert into an actual contract with this logo that I'd seen all my life, my childhood, and I'd be like, how is that even possible? And I was in disbelief. One of the things I don't do anymore, ever, is to sell to friends and family because they're always too nice to you and they're going to buy it, right? And no one's going to tell you it's horrible.
Yeah, it's hard to say no. It's hard to say no.
So it's hard, right? So I've learned that the hard way, that do try and get the first few customers who are people you don't know at all, right? Because they're going
Yeah.
to be ruthless and honest with you. So it felt amazing, to tell you, and it was a 1 year long contract that we signed, right? So it wasn't just like a few images, it was a couple of thousands of dollars every month. Uh, and that felt amazing.
That must have been a good journey to get to a big checkpoint at least.
Yeah.
And we're going to dive into the product in a bit, but I'm always curious uh, about everybody talks about the highs, but were there any low points where you kind of said, this is not working, this is tough, this is a hard moment for me, and how did you kind of get through that moment? Because that's where usually people stop. That's where the majority, 90% of people stop and never see the light of day. And thankfully, there are people like you that go through those bottlenecks, those bad moments. Can you recall one of those tough moments? Obviously, it could be a combination of things, but just curious to see if you have one that kind of stuck with you a bit more than others.
You will find it relatable, and everyone else who's been working in AI will find it relatable. They've all probably had the same moment. But a year and a half or 2 years ago, it would take so long to produce a single image, right? And it would not be amazing. It would be right somewhere there, you know? Um, and so I almost told Pratik. Pratik's my co-founder. He's built the technology. He's the AI guy. I would go and tell him that if it's gonna be so hard to produce an image, do you think the world will do it? Right? And he just kept giving me the confidence that no, it's gonna get easier, better, easier, better. I mean, at some point, all of us thought that hands will never be improved in AI, right? We always felt that it'll be too hard for AI to figure it out. And today we have hands. So
Perfect hands, should
perfect
I
hands.
add?
We have perfect hands, yes.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
think at
yeah.
these points, I would definitely question AI and I would question the capability of the technology. And unless it is user-friendly enough, will it really be adopted by large amounts of people? And I guess I just had to keep hoping, and it has happened now.
Yeah, it definitely has. It definitely has. And I completely relate to that. There was that initial moment where it just didn't make sense. It wasn't worth it. The time and cost and resources that we had to allocate for AI just were more or less the same as the traditional ways. And so people were just like, well, I'll just do it traditionally. Why change something that has been working? And now, obviously, it has completely changed. And also from a time and an effort standpoint, it's a new world. It's a new world. Going into the product itself, I always tell you this. I've never used a tool like Caimera. I've tried countless tools, and nothing compares to Caimera. The way it works just makes sense. The user friendliness of it, the features of it, even the way it's placed on the actual dashboard just makes sense. What do you think is missing from these other tools? What don't they get? What are they missing? I don't want you to tell me the technology, the back end, because that's a secret maybe, but what is it that they're not getting that Chimera gets?
I think the number one thing that comes to my mind is that there are far and few engineers who've done photography in their lives, right? And I think that engineers would make a great tool that writes code because they are masters of it. But people like us who've done photography, creativity, when we get married to an engineering team, we're able to produce something that the users understand, the users feel like it is theirs. It solves all the tiny problems that they are looking to solve in an image. And those are trade secrets, right? So I feel like a lot of the tools are looking at it only from an engineering standpoint.
I completely agree. And a word comes to mind when you're saying these things, and it's taste.
Yeah.
And I think in this era of AI, taste is what's going to be, differentiator. And you have taste, and you have the luck of having both the taste and the engineering side of things, and that could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think we're very uniquely positioned between me and Pratik to be able to make a successful product. Um, I feel like something as simple as faces, right? What kind of faces are relevant in 2025 versus what used to be pretty and beautiful in 1990 is very different. And I also feel like it's not just about creativity that's in our mind, but structured creativity. Uh, and that allows, I think, any image that comes out of Chimera has that, instantly production usable quality to it. And that's institutionalized into the product, as opposed to, just one of us saying this is good, this is bad.
Yeah. Tell me, what do you mean by structural creativity? Tell me more about that.
I think the campaign ideas tool that you get into before you actually start prompting.
Hmm?
So when you give me a brief and you want to shoot a hat, if it's a black hat, AI knows in what context do people wear black hats and what kind of profile of people wear black hats. And if you were to give me a brief in a pre-AI world, I would have gone onto Pinterest and I would have checked styling a plain black hat. And I would have gone through thousands of images to style and understand how the world wears a black hat. And can I embed that into AI and make it a structured process? I think that's what I really mean. And it's not just in the campaign ideas tool in Chimera, it's there at every step of the way.
Totally, so clear, so clear. And I was thinking about this the other day. We will soon be we are teaching our taste to the AI
Yeah,
essentially, and
yeah,
I see this uh, element where one day we will sell our taste through AI. And what I mean by that is that I'll give you an example. I was creating, uh, on Midjourney, you can create your own profile, right?
yeah,
Soon you will be able to sell that profile because people wanna get the images created the way you create them.
yeah.
And we won't be selling maybe our art, we'll sell our taste. And I was thinking about that, but it kind of came up. Do you see this happening?
Yeah, the SREFs, they're already
Right,
such a thing, right? Yeah, yeah,
right. That's pretty special. That's pretty special. I wanted to ask you, you sent me a message the other day as we were organizing this, and you said a new feature is coming. I don't know if we can say this or we will delete it if we can't, but I quote what you said: consistent models with consistent garments and the ability to upload your own image and add the garment using Chimera.
yeah.
Am I understanding correctly?
Yes.
I just want to make sure I understand because if this is real, I am I am shutting this off. Can I add my picture from outside and
Yeah,
upload it to Chimera?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and wherever it could be a real photo you took, It could be a photo that you upload or generated somewhere you like the taste of, right? And you can just bring in, add the garment, add many garments, add up to whatever number, like I've done 7, 8 already,
Yeah.
shoes, caps into the same scene. And I'd love to show you. I'd love to show you the consistent models.
Yeah. Can we dive in?
Yeah.
Let's do
So,
it. This is a dream come true.
very.
Because we always talked, I talked with Fabio, I talked with Alara again when we did these calls, and we said, imagine if we could take a picture from outside and bring it into these tools and then integrate the product. That is the ideal tech stack.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's now possible. Alar actually was testing it yesterday. Um,
Fantastic.
Great. If you see here, we have three main features: fluid, click, and move. Fluid allows you to change the pose of the model. Click is for bulk generation, 4,000 images with just one click. So usually used for catalog generation, with large volumes of catalogs being processed. Move is image to video. If you upload one image, it'll make a 5-second video. If you upload 3, 4 images, it'll edit it and produce a 20-second video. Let's go to move. No, let's go to fluid. And right out here, as you click on an image, you will see the models on the left, right here. So you have a couple of female models, male models, and kids. Actually, we made this model with my face. It's like
So
the male
that is
version.
you as a man?
Yeah.
That is you as a man.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's got my eyes and my nose.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's your twin. He's your twin. And so, okay, great.
okay, so how this works is you've already created an image or you are creating an image. All you need to do is select the model. What that does to the prompt is that it adds dollar model to that image. And so now I'm saying dollar model wearing dollar product, and West, and the rest of the prompt is as everyone else does prompt already. And the background prompt obviously has everything to do with this train at the back. But all I've done is clicked on the model and I'm pressing shoot. So I'm going to fire a couple. And while that is generating, I'd actually just fired her up a couple of minutes ago. So you can see now I'm getting Zuri. And you can say side view and you'll still get her. You can say back view and you'll still get her. And you can change, say, for example, let's take this image. And I want to switch her to Zuri. I click on female, dollar model comes into my prompt. And it should not have any other model as a part of any other model descriptor.
Yeah. So again, that comes into the element of control that we always say is lacking in AI. You
Correct.
guys got that covered as well.
Yeah. I think that, there are lots of tools that are very, very simplified and dumbed down. And then there are
Mhm.
many that are very complicated. I think it's important to have control, but it's also not like it's not working in AI's favor to make a really complicated tool that no one can use, you know?
Totally, totally.
So as you
You guys
can
have
now
made it
see,
easy.
and you're also seeing her body type, right? So the entire body is getting translated, not
Yeah.
just one part of her.
And so
So, I
those
mean,
are, yeah, so
sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask, those are, I call them, maybe it's the wrong term, but stock model, I assume. Or are these ones created specifically for a custom approach?
It's custom approach. So we've created
Okay.
these models, and
Okay. So anybody can create the models of their own.
we'll give you a feature here to create your own models as well. right now. We're testing, it's still in beta, so we're still testing how consistent does she stay? Is her body staying consistent or not? I can see that the hair is pretty consistent. The body is also pretty consistent. Even when the light is changing, she's pretty consistent. So we're
The light
testing.
shining on the clothing and that clothing just staying exactly the same is also very special.
Yeah. And I haven't even done try on it, so I will do try on top
Yeah.
of this to get the accurate garment, and it'll still have the lighting.
Because
Um,
the funny thing is that when I do tutorials sometimes on Caimera,
mm.
before the product is even integrated, people are like, "Oh wow, wow, that's amazing," and I say, "I still haven't integrated the product yet. Wait," you know.
That's been a very big problem because a lot of people say the product is not accurate, but they haven't done
Mhm.
try. So
Right.
my
Missing
biggest
the missing.
challenge right now uh, is to, I could simplify it, but it would take a long time to process every image then, right? Right now, you can
Right.
focus on creativity and then bring in the garment when you are finally sure that this is your shot. Upscale, download. But if I was to slap on the garment on every image, it would be a real big challenge.
And it would probably also be too expensive and too damaging from a, I guess,
Yeah,
GPU standpoint. That's the right term.
yeah, and especially because we're offering unlimited free generations per product, right?
Yeah.
So that would mean it would just be extremely expensive to do. Great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've started seeing Zuri here as well. And she's
Special.
not even upscale. This is amazing, right? Because now I can make an entire fashion movie of this model
Yeah.
walking around. And obviously, I still have to cherry pick where she looks the closest
Hmm.
to the model. And, if the hair is shorter, I can always use the draw tool uh, to make it longer and bring in more consistency. But this is magical, right?
This
It's,
is unbelievable. I don't think if people don't realize what just happened, in 3 minutes, we created an entire photo shoot editorial
yeah.
for this product in front of a laptop. This
So it's
is
really cool. We're giving them names and personalities. So this one is Ivy, like Aivi.
beautiful. And would it be possible? I don't know if it's either ethical or there's privacy policies to kind of you did it with a male version of you, but could you do it with your own face? Is that possible or not yet?
Yes, for sure. Do you want to be a model?
I guess.
Okay, I'm adding you to
You
kind.
mean in real life or in digital life? I
Yeah.
wasn't able to do it in real life, so I guess maybe digital is my only way.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about that a lot. And, I think that real models could so easily be integrated over here. There can be a business model around it. It's really easy now, right? Because a few months ago, it was extremely complicated to do. Um, so this is Ivy, as you can see.
Perfect.
And now she is consistent throughout the shots, and then I can bring in the
Oh,
garment using try on.
that's great.
Yeah,
That's great. And then obviously, like you mentioned, you bring it into Move, your other feature,
yeah,
and create the there you go.
yeah. I've been playing around with just real images, and it's so seamlessly, even though this is a lace top, it's not destroying the quality of the top.
That is a hard product to replicate.
Yeah, that's why I chose this one. And even this one, like, we didn't think that these little tiny crocodiles and flowers would not get destroyed, but it's working seamlessly.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. Is it possible to see the feature of the bringing in the picture, or that's not live yet?
Oh, it's live. It's very live.
It's very
So
live.
right
I
here,
do have to
you
see.
can upload an image. Let
Yeah,
me see if I have an image right now that I can just add to this. Um, Wow, finding the right image is also not easy. Okay, let's bring in this image. Sorry. Oh,
And another great thing is the amount of pictures of the products that Caimera needs. Sometimes I upload 3 pictures and that's enough. That's
one is
enough. I
enough,
used to remember
actually. Yeah.
one is enough, right? I
Yeah.
used to remember tools. I used to upload 20, 15 at least. At least that the first time I started, that's what I had to do. I had to take 20 pictures of a product, and brands would look at me and say, "No, I'm good, thanks."
We've done that too. It
Yeah,
used to be the older method, and
yeah,
now you just need one image. But it always helps to have a pose that is similar to the pose
yeah.
you're trying to generate. And so it's great if you have a couple of more images. All it helps with is that you should do try on with the most closest pose that you're slapping onto. Great. So let's upload our own image. That is just an image of Zuri. I didn't want to use a copyrighted image. So you should confirm that you have the rights to use that image. Um,
Or
and I'm,
create it on Midjourney, right?
yeah. So, I mean, you should have the rights to that image. I think you do, right? When you
Yeah.
create it there and you have a paid plan. And
Very paid plan, yes.
yeah, this is literally the first time I'm trying this out.
Okay, okay. That's as real as it gets, people. As real as it gets.
No, right? And
Yeah,
the trick to try on is that you should have a base as also a dress, which is what we give you when you're prompting. So
yeah,
this one
okay.
is tricky because I'm bringing in a dress on top of a top and jeans.
Hmm.
But it should work.
Okay.
A larger garment on a smaller garment works.
Yeah, yeah.
Always
And
like to
see,
fire it a couple of times.
okay, just to get a few more trials or just to get the
Yeah,
engine going? Yeah, yeah,
I think basically AI is always a dice roll. So the more times you roll the dice, the more likely you're going to win.
yeah, yeah.
And
The harder you try, the luckier you get.
yeah, and I think it's still in that position where a lot of people will feel like I should click once and it should give me the output. I think the people
Yeah.
who are just going a step further, trying it a few times, understanding it, are able to really get to the results.
And that's for everything. I'm just thinking about photography. Take one picture of something, expect the best picture, and then close your phone. That's just not how it works. You take 100 pictures, you go home and you pick one. That's usually how photographers operate.
True.
That's, yeah. Here we go.
It's given me a jeans, but let's
So,
try it
well,
again.
it just, I guess it put it into the gene. It's,
It did. It did.
you can wear it
It,
like this as well if you want.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
you
could.
absolutely can wear it like this as well.
But you
But
know what I could have done is I could have just used the draw tool to like just remove this gap, and it
right,
would probably have given me the dress as well. But I just would have to close the gap using the tool.
yeah, and
And
there you
now
go.
it's, yeah, yeah. So I think after you upscale it, it'll iron out the details as well of the dress. But it's best that you have a dress when you're doing a try on a dress.
Totally. That is unreal. That is unreal. Took a picture from outside, uploaded it, integrated your product. You have just solved a big headache for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Really
really special.
excited. And I fire one
Yeah.
more because I'm so cool, so excited
Yeah.
by this. And then I just want to ensure that, there's no descriptor on the model, right? So if you say Japanese in the prompt, then it'll influence this model.
Right. Rightfully so.
Sorry, I'm too excited.
No, please. This is, I love to do this. I'm gonna jump as soon as I finish this chat. I'm gonna jump in and use all my journey created images to integrate products.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and
If you see
accessories, uh,
accessories,
like
you can
hat. I
either
mean, I did
place,
it with a hat recently, and you saw it. It
yeah,
worked great.
it works. It works really well. I think jewelry is the only category that struggles when the jewelry pieces are really detailed. And then I'd recommend using Click for that. Um, Innerwear, shoes, sunglasses, not a problem at all. So now I've changed it to this model and it's working. Can you see even the hair is accurate?
How many of those models are kind of available as
Actually,
templates?
right now, 1 to 5 for
Yeah,
you, but I
yeah.
have 20 in the pipeline.
Okay, great. Good for you.
Send me a model. I just need one
Um,
image. I just need one image, by the way.
Wow, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you,
To stop
who
sharing?
is I mean, as you wish. Uh, can have it in the
I'm
background if you
actually
want.
quickly
But
going to
I
show
wanted to,
you the
yeah,
campaign
yeah,
ideas.
please.
Okay, great. So, say you've uploaded this dress and you'd like some ideas for this dress, right? And you don't know what to generate. You can go into create campaign ideas, editorial ideas for Instagram, and you can say generate ideas. And now it's going to this Pinterest mood board, but actually it could have gone to the brand's own website also. Should I have put that link? These aren't going to be rough images. They are not like production quality of AI images. It's just to pitch the concept to you. And
And if you want to add anything, if you don't
mhm,
add any Pinterest board or reference,
yeah,
where does Caimera scrape these, I guess, inspirational references from?
I think it's going to base it then on the product. And
Okay,
it would basically, it's a denim dress. It would look into what context would one wear the denim dress.
smart.
And here, if you see, because the Pinterest mood board was all resort and it was like a White Lotus themed Pinterest board, it's given me like a seaside studio, morning reflections, and a midsummer dream. Actually, let's choose morning reflections, or I could have said, yeah, give me more ideas in Monaco. You're in Monaco?
I am indeed, I am indeed. I tried with the hat the other day and it created Monaco. It missed a few parts. Maybe I'm just being too strict with it, but the port was slightly messed up. But it did a great job. Overall, it
Oh
was
my
it was
God,
great.
I think that's another thing I like to do when I onboard a client. I tell them what doesn't work in AI.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that
For now,
it's
for now.
for now, in the sense that it's always imagining, right? And which means, so we had a client from Sweden who wanted a beach in Sweden, but the beaches in Sweden didn't have the tall grass that it was giving us.
Right.
And so it was a huge concern, right? Because the grass was different than the grass they have there. But I guess everyone has to understand that there is a certain uh, imaginative power to AI, and it can't be 100% exact. Jordan Exotic Escape.
Jardin Exotique, yes, that is a very famous location in
Oh,
Monaco.
it's a
So
location. Wow.
yeah, yeah. So I got that very, very
So
specific.
it's
Monaco
saying
Marina.
contrasts the
I mean,
denim.
let's go to Jardin Exotique. That would be
Yeah.
fun.
So it's noticed that it can contrast the denim against the exotic garden backdrop,
Mhm.
embodying the brand's connection to natural environments while elevating the casual dress in the sophisticated setting. So I'm going to proceed to shoot an editor. So I didn't have to make the prompt, right? It's already taken in the prompt and created it for me here.
Yeah, and obviously you can edit it if you want. You can
Yeah,
edit the model, you can edit the background. So again, that control coming in again, where you don't just hope for something, but you're being particular with what you're trying to edit. Is it the background? Is it the model? Is it the overall feel of it?
true.
Again, another great feature, I think.
Thank you. Great. So while that shows up, we can move on to our next question. I know I'm
No,
taking a while.
this is what it's all about. My question, as I see this, is who is this perfect for? Who do you think, is your ideal customer, kind of user, and also who is it not for? Who is it people that you wouldn't want to sell? And in the meantime, look what I created. That's great.
Yeah, it's such a
Yeah, that
great
is
shot.
yeah, that is great. That is great. Chimera has great taste. Chimera has great taste.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Who is it
those.
for? You know, because we were always working with large companies, we have designed it for companies that have a huge volume requirement. They require new tier two and tier three content, which is email marketing, SMS marketing, social media. They make multiple posts every week. And so the volume of content that these brands use is a lot. So it's for those sort of companies that are constantly feeling like they are a content factory.
Right.
Um, does it work for non-fashion items? It works for a washing machine, it works for a blender. I've done all of those categories using Chimera. Um, and it's hence marketing companies can also use it to deliver, I think, the closest to what all their clients will approve imagery.
Yeah.
Um, I would say that I can't think of anyone who it's not for. I feel like even someone who is not in the image industry should come and should play around with it, should learn it, because one day, even to make a normal PowerPoint presentation, you will require imagery. And if it's high quality imagery, communication will be key. Even if you're making a social media or a LinkedIn post just to explain a concept, you can come and use it. So, um, not really alienating anyone here, but really it's been designed for large volume production.
Yeah, that makes sense. And by the way, I don't want people to get confused. The image that was just created is still missing the actual product integration. Because I can already see people might say, ah, it doesn't look the same. We
Yeah.
haven't even applied the try on yet.
Yeah,
Just to
it's
confirm a bit.
we're still designing the UI. As you can see, we've moved the try on button recently
Right.
because people were not able to find it.
Okay.
So um, it's still a journey, right? And
Yeah.
we're still trying to figure out where is the best way to embed that.
Yeah, of course. And that leads me on to my next question, which I was really curious because a lot of brand owners kind of have to balance, you know, the product vision that they have, the vision that they have, and the market feedback. And so I wanted to ask you, how do you balance those two elements, kind of giving people what they ask for
Yeah.
compared to what people might need, but they don't even know they need yet? You know, how do you balance those two, essentially, product vision and market feedback?
Think it's extremely important for that feedback or requirement to be common across your ideal customer profile. If it's from somebody who's just not a user and requires it once or twice, it's not a legitimate requirement to be integrated into the product. Like, for example, lots of people were asking us to upload their own image. I would have not done it if it was just, a certain demographic user base. What I also realized is that you could use that for catalog production. You could shoot a model with a swimsuit and keep slapping all the different garments on that image. And so I felt like it would add to the overall vision of the tool, which is scale.
Right. So I guess it's priorities, priorities that you think it's your judgment of saying, okay, this is a good feedback, but it doesn't go into the macro perspective of this of my vision.
Right.
So it's priority and judgment, I think, are those two. As we are seeing this machine just delivering great shots on repeat, which is
I'm just
unbelievable.
upscaling that shot now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great shot. That's it. Done. This brand must be very happy to have this without having to go all the way to Monaco and Jardin Exotique. This is hard
And
to find, actually.
if you saw this on Instagram, you wouldn't stop. You wouldn't be like, this is AI, you know. It's just
Yeah, no,
gonna see the
that's,
dress in context, and after
yeah,
it upscales, it also evens out
yeah.
uh the lighting. And I think it would just be a magical sort of thing that you were not even there and you shot this and you have it to communicate with your customers that they could wear it there.
So true. And even if it might look AI in some occasions, I think that's not the point. I think people are still missing the point. You know, people that are so focused on saying it looks like AI, I see, but look at this. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. This is happening. Do you understand that in 10 days, this is completely changing, and in 10 months, you will absolutely not be able to recognize if it's AI or not, which could be a problem, and I'm sure we can address that another time. But that's not the point. The point is that you are now able to create these visuals in a matter of minutes from your laptop and creating all those campaigns that you always wanted to do and you were never able to achieve because of limitations of budget, cost, resources, time. Now you can. That is the point.
True. I think just time, right? Like, I think today companies are being built very
Yeah.
fast because we're all using AI to do everything. And brands, if they spend an entire day going here and doing a shoot versus shooting it on their computer, it's time saved. I think we're also time poor right now.
Yeah, that is the only thing we have, and that's the only thing we should be nurturing.
True.
100%. Thank you for showcasing this demo. This was unbelievable. I'm so glad I saw it
Thank
firsthand, and you kind of doing it uh, for the first time as well. Kind of that first
Yeah,
integration product
yeah,
outside.
yeah. I
It's
think
great.
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, but I just want to say that, people should not look at, say, one odd image and be like, okay, that is maybe an awkward pose, that looks like AI, but I mean, two more shots and you're gonna have this, right? So I think that it's all about having this eager nature to learn and to do more.
And even if it takes a day, what used to take 3 months now takes a day. So let's put
Yeah.
things into perspective, please.
Yeah, you would
Um,
have 20 images, you would train a garment, and it would take the whole day.
yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Where do you see this going? Where do you see this AI creative space heading towards? Do you have any predictions or any things you're excited about, and maybe things that you are scared about as well?
I think adoption is inevitable, right? A lot of people feel like, will the world actually adopt AI? I think that's not a question anymore. Um, it's going to be at large scale. A lot of people, when e-commerce launched, were like, why will people buy clothes online? And that's such
Unbelievable.
a thing right
Or
now, right?
people
So
that
this
said who's going to use the phone back in the days.
Yeah, so that's where I see it going. It's going to uh, put the pressure on creativity because so many of the campaigns can be done by anybody now using AI, right? And so, really, what you choose to create to break the clutter. And so, I feel like creatives are going to be extremely important people in the new world, creatives like yourself. And you will be pressurized to think of just so many out of the box ideas. Um, and I feel like the price for creativity will also increase uh, because the generic creativity AI will be able to do, but really unusual ideas will be even more exclusive.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot, and I think it's spot on. I think it's spot on. It's gonna come down to idea creation soon, because I always say AI bridges the gap between an idea and its execution. And so very
Yeah.
soon, all you'll need is a fantastic idea that solves a great problem that maybe people didn't even think about. And once you have that idea, then you can use AI for execution. And I think that's very, very special. That's very, very special because we are only limited to what we can imagine. And I think that's very empowering.
Yeah.
Uh, Kirti, this was great. I'm so glad we spoke and I appreciate you taking the time. If you don't mind, I wanted to ask you one last thing. I always love to shout out artists, entrepreneurs, even businesses, companies in this AI space. And if you have three on top of your head, I would love for you to share them. If not, no worries, we can end it here.
For sure. So obviously, you know Alar already, and he's great. I think I should not take his name first because it's been taken on your show quite a lot
Too
of
many
times,
times.
too many times. Have you heard of Sevda? Have you heard of Sevda? Some
I think
great
I
work.
did.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, also in fashion, I think mostly she does
Yes.
a lot of black and white. Um,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
I
You've
follow her on
got it.
Instagram. Yeah, she's great. She
Great,
teaches as
great.
well. She teaches.
She teaches. She's a very good creative director. She's supremely talented. Um, so I take her name. And have you heard of Emmanuel Jane?
No, and I'm saying no just because I might follow them and without even
Yeah,
knowing the name, but I'll look
yeah,
it
yeah.
up. Look it up.
I'm
Maybe we
pretty
can
sure
connect.
he just went viral for the Shein image he created.
Okay.
And
Ah,
uh, yeah,
of course. Emanuele. That's why I had the
yeah.
Italian name in my head.
Okay.
My bad.
To
I'm
me, he
being,
was just like, you can call me Jane.
yeah. Great talent. Great talent. Yeah, I had the Italian name. Sorry, being strict. Great
So I
talent.
feel
Great,
like
great.
these people really are extremely talented. The leaders of the movement, they know how to use tools. They're able to, get into a tool and execute almost flawlessly. So yeah, I really enjoy, working with them. And you,
That's great.
should I take your name? I think I should have, if it was
I
not
mean,
your show.
as a bench warmer, the fourth, the sixth man of the year, like they say in the NBA. Sure, I'll take it. Thank
I
you.
I think I had a friend send me your link, like the link to your website. They were
Hmm.
like, "Have you seen this? This is incredible."
He's a
I
paid
was
actor.
like,
He's a paid
you
actor.
know, I was like, I know him.
Great. I have his WhatsApp. I have his number.
Yeah,
That's
I
great.
have him on WhatsApp.
I love that friend. I love that friend. This is Thank you so much, Kirti. This was great, and I'm sure we have a lot of those conversations. I'm a big fan of what you're doing of Caimera. I pitch it nonstop. I use it all the time, and I'm gonna use it so much more now that I got the honor to be in the creator program. So that was very special as well. Thank you for this.
Thank you. Well, lovely chat this afternoon, and I'd love
Yeah,
to be speaking to you again.
we will. Thank you, everybody. If anybody's still here, uh, I appreciate your time and see you soon.
See
Bye.
you. All right. Bye.